day of music, filled with music. And you know, this week we've been talking a lot about music, and it started on Monday when I returned from Kimsey Ridge and the singing. And it wasn't just a singing, it was a church service. It was amazing. The music was wonderful. The scenery was awesome because they have done such a great job with that beautiful building. But I came away from there with some really good music because Tim Christensen was there with 3 of our cameras, and he recorded a bunch of stuff. And you're going to get to meet now one of the ladies who was there, who actually brought down the house with Amazing Grace. You got to hear it on Monday. You're going to get to hear it again today at the end of the program. But if I don't pump these up, I'm going to get in trouble with Mr. Ellijay. And I try to stay out of trouble with him because, you know, Matt Diebler will preach my funeral, and Dwight Sanford will finish my funeral, and he will tell jokes about me. And I want y'all, the day that I'm laid to rest, I want everybody to leave that place laughing and smiling and remembering good stuff. When you hear this CD, you will laugh and smile and remember good stuff. Now, I played a little trivia with y'all yesterday, and I said he did this goofy song on the end of the CD, and it really is goofy, but it's him because it's kind of like him. He's an old man and he's telling y'all goodbye. He's not going anywhere yet. He's so mean and ornery, he'll be here another 100 years, and then Jesus will have to knock him in the head with a ball peen hammer to get him to go. But this CD has some of the stuff you love, some of the stuff you've heard, some of the stuff that he loves. So it's a great combination of music. It is available if you chase me down. So chase me down. There are 2 more CDs in the works coming out, and then we will do a real cool package. It's a shame he didn't get them all out by Mother's Day, and I'll just say I'll whip him for that. But they're not going to be here for Mother's Day. I was hoping they would, but they're not. So want to remind you again, this weekend, and this is free, widows and widowers, if you don't know about this great meal, great concert down in the Canton area, Hickory Flat Fellowship Hall, this is compliments of Glory Bound Ministries. April the 27th, get there about 4 o'clock, hang out with people, get to know folks. 5 o'clock they feed you. 6 o'clock you have a concert. By 7 o'clock it's not dark and you are headed home with a gift bag and a box of food if you need it. So this is an event that you need to be a part of. If you have neighbors, if you know people who are widows and widowers and are alone, nobody likes to eat alone. It's just not fun. You want to talk to somebody and visit with somebody while you're eating. I don't care what you eat, and you like to visit with folks. So this is a perfect opportunity. And again, you can check out their Facebook page, Glory Bound Ministries, and there it is. And I want you to be there. All right, welcome, Miss Raven Welch Harris. Harris,
Right.
How long has your last name been Harris?
About 5.5 years now.
5.5 years now. How long have you been a nurse, ma'am?
I have been a nurse since 2016. I mean,
Wow.
I've been working full-time as a nurse about 7.5, almost 8 years this summer.
But you're still fitting in that beautiful music that you are known for.
Absolutely.
You can't give that up. You can't give that up.
No, I've come to find out that it's actually not only just, fun and entertaining, it's a great creative outlet for me. I love it. It's very therapeutic. Being a nurse can be a little stressful, so it's nice to let all that out.
Yeah, yeah. Now, was Saturday night the first time you had performed at Kimsey Ridge?
No, we have performed at Kimsey Ridge a couple times. We have a couple events going on there that we're doing, some more from a bluegrass perspective. But I sang last year at the first Singing in the Mountains, that they did. So this was the second time there. We've started doing a bluegrass festival in the spring and in the fall.
That's
great.
great.
At Kimsey Ridge, and it's great. It's so funny. Jason and Laura, the owners, I go to church with them, or used to go to church with them when I lived here at Bethel. And he said, I bought this building. I bought the old Ducktown School.
And I said, scratched your head.
I said, that's amazing. You know what we should do? We should have a bluegrass festival there. So I teased him. I said, oh, you're making my dreams come true. I've always wanted to have like a festival here in this building because the architecture, the history, and it's nice to know that you can have a place where you can have family-friendly fun these days, you know, and there's, you know, a huge amount of acreage there and grounds, and they have a great future in mind for that place. It has so much potential.
Yeah.
But
isn't it about 15 acres?
I want to say, yeah, about 15, maybe a little more. There's even like a cranberry bog on the property somewhere that they're working on revamping and getting back. They've got a lot of hiking trails, you know, and then of course the building itself, it's got the auditorium, it has the gymnasium, it's got the old cafeteria, and just, you know, all the space.
Now, have you been in the gymnasium? Because I haven't. What have they done anything with it yet?
I have, yes. I think they've refinished the floors. They've done a couple events there, and I will say when it has rained, when we've had our festival, we've been able to put all like the inflatable bouncy houses in there.
Oh, that's
great.
awesome. Yeah.
It's a great venue for rain or shine events because you can literally put everything inside if you need to.
That is awesome. Well, when I walked in, I was talking to Matt Dibler yesterday, who was the lead singer for the Inspirations for over 20 years, and I was telling him about it, and I was describing it and telling him. He said, "Are you talking about that little place on the way to Turtletown?" I said, yeah. And he said, "Oh, I've always wanted to go in it." So we're trying to figure out how we can do an Inspirations reunion there, because he and Matt and Melton and Darren and now even Mike Calcom are doing the Inspirations as they were rather than the Inspirations as they are.
Right.
All the good guys, all the old guys, not good guys, all the old guys are getting together, and so they're traveling and they're doing, and it's called Resurrection.
Oh, I didn't know
which
that.
is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was telling him about it at lunch yesterday, he said, "Oh, I've always wanted to go in that building." And I said, "You won't believe that building."
There has been so much change just over the past couple years. You know, it's hard to believe. I think he got it. This will be our 3rd annual Bluegrass Festival that we're doing. So, gosh, it's just, he's made tremendous upgrades. The first festival we had in there in the auditorium, the windows were still in there. You know, in that room when it was built, it had like beautiful acoustics, you know, so of course when we put a microphone in there, it was just echoing all over the place.
Wow.
But oh yeah, the pictures, to see the progress he's made, it's incredible. We had like just all these random chairs sitting out, like, and now to think we have good seating, you know, it's made a lot of progress. It's a great venue.
Yeah, it is. It is. Now, I know there's going to be another concert there, and I didn't know that person. Who is that guy? They were selling tickets the other night.
Oh, Mac Powell.
Yeah,
yes.
who is that?
He's
Tell me
going to be
about
there
that.
at the end of May. He's actually, I think, one of the founders of the contemporary Christian group Third Day.
Okay.
So he's just going to be there doing a night of worship, and tickets are available. You can buy them online, or you can reach out to the Kimsey Ridge folks online, and they can get you hooked up with that too. Yeah.
And now, what about food? Because, you know, we ain't meeting if we ain't eating.
That's true.
So what are they doing about food? When you do the Bluegrass Festival, do y'all have food trucks?
We have some vendors, yes, some food vendors. We've had a couple bigger food trucks, like the Salty Dog Cafe, I think, comes out. You know, we can have like burgers, things like that. But for the most part, we keep it kind of snack foods. You know, we've had hamburgers and hot dogs, and that's about it for now. Yeah, food trucks, concessions.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things, because I thought Saturday night the place was full. And, you know, even if they had just a little place to sell pound cake and coffee, or strawberry shortcake and coffee, or something like that. To bring in more money, because it's all about raising money to preserve this beautiful property.
It is, absolutely. If anyone would like to donate, we welcome your contributions.
Yes.
And I can give more info on that to you to share. But yes, we're currently looking for sponsors for you know, the Bluegrass Festival that we're hoping to do in the fall. We've got a couple sponsors for the Spring Festival, which will be there on May 4th. So shout out to the Copper Basin Federal Credit Union for helping us, and Aikens Cobb Funeral Home for sponsoring the Spring Festival.
And what will it be that day? What will happen?
That day we're just having craft vendors, you know, a little bit of shopping you can do, food trucks, food vendors, and then bluegrass music in the auditorium. So we've got open mic starting at, I believe, 11 to 12, and then from 12 to 5 we've got bands who are going to be playing, and the Raven Welch Band will be one of them.
There you go.
Yeah,
there
so
you
you'll have to come see us.
Now, okay, being a nurse full time and getting back into music, we went into your past a week or so ago when you were at Everett's Music Barn, and we grabbed some music. And so today we're going to share that with folks. When you walked into Everett's Music Barn, did you know the true history of that property?
You know, the first time I went there, I think I was about 16 years old, and Sewanee seemed like so far away from McKaysville, so it was such a long drive down there. But no, I didn't really know anything about it, but it's just amazing the history that's there. Yeah,
the performers who have been there.
Yes.
In that little tiny spot.
Yes.
Basically, gospel music and country music started at Everett's Music Barn.
Right.
You know, it wasn't the Grand Ole Opry. So we're going to share some photos with you now, because Raven is going to tell you about an event that you will want to do with your mom on Mother's Day. I'm going to tell you about an event that I want you to do, and it's at the Botanical Garden in Ball Ground. The big plant sale starts on May the 11th at 9 a.m. If you don't get there early, you don't get the goods, because we will have thousands of plants and there will be thousands of people there to buy them. So we want you to come out and be there. And here we go with some photos that might remind you of a special mother in your life. It might remind you of a special child in my life. Her name is Xana Jordan, and there is, you talk about two special moms. They're Shirley Singleton and Vicki, and this is as we celebrated Xana's first Mother's Day. And this was one of those surprise babies that just came along into all our lives. And boy, what a blessing. And her first Mother's Day celebrating with her mom, we made it special for a lot of moms. And we just had a really, really good time celebrating mothers. There are so many moms who maybe have lost a child. There's so many children who lost a mom, and it's just, Mother's Day is a tough, tough time, and we want to encourage you to celebrate Mother's Day on May the 11th. Go out with your mom and celebrate at the Botanical Garden, and then go over to Dawsonville and celebrate. And we are going to enjoy music and food and fun and fellowship, because what did I say? We ain't meeting if we ain't eating. So we're eating peach cobbler there. So.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do a peach cobbler event at the Woodbridge General Store in Jasper. We are narrowing down the dates, and we're going to teach you how to make my super yummy, super simple cobblers. And everybody keeps saying, how do you do that? And how do you make it the same every time? Well, there's just a technique, and I'm going to teach you that. So these are some of the very favorite moms in my life, and look at that. They walk in with a puppy, and of course Miss Paula, the queen belle of Ball Ground, has to get the puppy, and she's nursing the puppy. So, and there's sweet Shirley and beautiful Xana, and Xana's hair was so straight when she was born, and now she is like curly locks. She looks like Shirley Temple. So if you have a special child in your life, remember that they are truly gifts from God, and what a blessing, what a blessing, what a blessing. And that is, we got the shadows in there, but it was just a beautiful day in Ball Ground, and I wanted to show Ron and Shirley around as they visited, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful day. You talk about a special mom, and there is, there is our little rotten girl. And oh my gosh, this will be her second Mother's Day, and she has brought joy to so many people, including all of our viewers who love watching Xana's little antics, because she is into something all the time. She's now 20 months old, and it just blows my mind at how fast she's growing. She loves hearing herself talk, and it's so funny. And is that not the prettiest thing? And that's a wild azalea, is that right? A wild azalea, yeah. It's beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. That's what spring brings us, and these are all gifts from God. So how amazing is that? And this is one of my viewers. I got off the air here one day, and she'd brought me a #2 wash tub full of azaleas, not azaleas, of iris, and I put the iris out, and they have multiplied and multiplied, and they are absolutely beautiful this year. So thank you again. That's just one more gift that keeps on giving, because they keep spreading and multiplying, and I keep sharing them with people. Now, I want to recommend country cooking for Mother's Day. Don't go out and eat. Put things together and tell one daughter to bring something, tell one daughter to bring something else, tell one friend to come and bring something else, and don't go out and eat. Sit down at your table, spend time, leisurely time, laughing and hanging out, and just doing some good old-timey country cooking. And it's as simple as everybody brings maybe 2 dishes. and you get a group together, and it doesn't make it hard for anybody. And there's my sweet Dawn. I tried to include my kids in this, and it was hard to find a picture of Dawn because Dawn's not much into pictures. So, and there are the beautiful Princess Belle Jenny and the Queen Belle Paula. We're at a historical house in Ball Ground, and one of my very favorite places to hang out. And that is the year I became a grandmother. Oh my gosh, traumatized, but I became a grandmother, and my granddaughter Christy still loves to get packages from Nanny. So I send her stuff out of the kitchen all the time. She's learning to cook, she's enjoying life, and lives in Michigan. And I said, how could you enjoy anything in Michigan as cold as it is? And there's sweet Dawn, and happy Mother's Day to everybody, but especially to those moms who have lost a child, and maybe those moms who are struggling and don't get to see their kids. That's my forever favorite Mother's Day. I was 28 years old, and I tell everybody, you don't have to have sense until you're 28. After 28, get your act together. Until 28, you can just be dumb and crazy. But after 28, get it together. That's the year I got it together. So that's my favorite photo. And that's the same year that I have a picture of Hans Rufert and I when he was 4 years old. Now that is my choice for Mother's Day lunch. I will be having lunch at the Ball Ground Tavern. No, I don't drink. Yes, they serve alcohol, but no, I go in there all the time. And I drank water and lemon, and I eat that salad. And that is the best salad I ever put in my mouth. And it's kind of a creation that I took one of their recipes and flipped it around and changed it. And now they know that when I walk in the door, that's what I'm going to have. And it's just yummy. And again, it's at the Ball Ground Tavern downtown. There's the three girls, and sadly, Angela's left us. But yeah. What a joy to be a mom. What a joy to be a mom. One of the hardest things of your life and one of the best things of your life. It's not always fun. And this is a Xana cake. And I got this from somebody else who did it on Facebook. I want to recreate that cake. So far I haven't found a watermelon that would do that because I'm getting some weird size ones. But isn't that the coolest thing ever? It's healthy, it's hearty, it's good for you. The kid loves lemons, she loves berries, and she loves watermelon. So instead of a cake that you frost, you decorate a watermelon. That's pretty awesome. So there you go. Now we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to share the event that's going to happen in Dawsonville. But more than that, we're going to share some of your music, and we're going to talk about your group. So we'll be back shortly.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time. And delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
Georgia Medical Treatment Center now has 2 locations to bring you the high-quality holistic care you've come to know and expect. We treat neck, back, and joint pain with chiropractic care and injection-based treatment without the need for surgery or prescription painkillers. Our medical weight loss program can also provide relief while ridding your body of toxins, pounds, and inches while improving your overall health. Call today for a free consultation, 770-345-2000, or go online to georgiamtc.com.
You know, how you feel on the inside is just as important to me as how you feel on the outside.
Oh, Daddy. I'm grown up, is there in every way, care and take care of you. You're my grown up and I know you're there. I'm your grown up and you know I care. 'Cause it's you and me and me and you. So when you are okay or not okay, I'll take care of you.
Misty mountain, rainbow sky, a faraway look in your eyes. traffic jams and city stuff. Don't you think it's time to go where black bears climb and waters flow? Hummingbirds out on the deck, your feet propped up, and what the heck?
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
We're back, and guess what we're going to do now? We're going to share some music.
All right.
We're going to share some music. Now, you love bluegrass.
I do.
Did somebody influence you? Did you teach yourself? I've never heard the history of how Raven Welch began to be.
Well, it's not that exciting, unfortunately. I think my family has always kind of had, especially on my dad's side, a lot of musical influence. Like my dad actually plays the banjo. He has loved bluegrass, and you know, when I was young, I went through this phase where I was so tired of listening to the banjo. And then all of a sudden, Rhonda Vincent came to Ellijay to perform when I was about 12 or 13 years old, and we got tickets, came up to the I think it was the elementary auditorium where we used to do heart funds and everything.
Right.
And that was the show that I saw that like changed everything. I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so incredible. She had these great shoes on. Like, I remember everything about it. It was
I love it.
fantastic. So, you know, and then that's when I told my dad, I said, because I tried to learn to play banjo when I was young, and it just wasn't working out. And when we went to see her perform, I said, I think I want a mandolin for Christmas. And my parents, you know, were like, okay. You know, as you do when I'm like 12, 13. Okay.
Yeah.
So I got a little one, and I started taking lessons from Bill Cochran. He recently passed away last year. He was a part of Wolf Creek Bluegrass, but I took a few mandolin lessons from him, and I loved it.
You know who I saw at your concert Saturday night?
Who?
Swivel Hips, who was with them.
Yes, I'm
Swivel Hips was there.
I'm playing for him at the Ramp Festival up on Reliance, I think, on Saturday. So I still stay in touch with Ben. Yep.
Yeah, that was so cool.
They're great. They're so sweet.
Yeah, we did a live show at Lawson Chevrolet in Jasper, and they were there.
Oh.
And that was the last time the whole group was together as it was, because then one started passing away. You know, it was so strange because change. And we all have to deal with it.
Right.
We have to deal with it. Now let's talk a little bit about your job, because you have the most amazing job in the world and occasionally the hardest job in the world.
Yes, very true. I would agree with that. It's extremely rewarding, but sometimes the days are very long, very long. I work at Northside Hospital, 3 12-hour shifts a week, so sometimes more if they need it. And here lately we've needed it.
Yeah.
So, yes.
You're working with moms and babies, and if there's an occasion that a baby is stillborn, you have to deal with that just as well.
They actually, yes, we, our women's center, we're all cohesive, you know, sister units. We have labor and delivery, we've got postpartum, and then we have our NICU, which is fantastic. But yes, in the event of something very sad like that, we do try to keep the mom and the baby down in labor and delivery in a private room, but we have a great resource there called Heartstrings that will take care of a lot of, you know, that situation.
Right.
Follow the
I saw a
parents'
picture
wishes.
the other day of a dear friend from Jasper, and sadly her child was stillborn, a little girl, and we did the flowers for that service. That year we did flowers for 3 baby services, and that is the hardest thing ever, to know that you've gone through a full pregnancy and then at the end that heartbeat was gone. And then we see people in the world who choose to eliminate that child while it still has a heartbeat.
Right.
And that is one of the hardest things I've dealt with, because I believe that we have a choice to take care of our bodies, but I don't believe that we have a choice to eliminate a life. And that's very, very hard. And then when you see the end where a mom has delivered a full-term baby and the baby doesn't make it, and then we see just the opposite where somebody chooses to eliminate their own child, it's got to be tough.
It's heartbreaking, especially, you know, in that situation. Any loss at any stage during a pregnancy is very sad, you know, and there's just such a huge population that also struggles with infertility. So you see all these people who have went through all these methods, or it's been a miracle, it's a miracle baby, you know. A lot of the stories have happy endings for our patients.
We have two in Jasper that you talk about miracle babies. One is born and one is coming, and it was all that in vitro and all the timing and all the take the temperature and, you know, and struggling and fighting to have that miracle child. And there are some. So Now, do you ever just see a baby and go, oh my gosh, that's the most precious baby in the world?
All of them.
Yes.
Every single one of them. Yes, and they're so cute. They're wonderful. Absolutely. So precious.
Now, Northside has grown a lot from the north side of Atlanta. They've expanded into the rural communities.
Which is great.
It is great.
Being born and raised here, I'm like, yes, we need that to move up.
Yes. So we've got Forsyth, we've got Cherokee County. And isn't there a piece of property near Dahlonega that Northside owns, a huge piece of property where they're supposed to build something up farther north?
I have heard that, but I don't think anything has been confirmed. I know Northeast Georgia has also expanded up that way, you know, toward Lumpkin and White County, and they're based out of Gainesville.
Right.
So they are definitely moving up in the more rural area too.
You know why? Because these realtors are selling people houses and the
probably very true.
Population is growing.
That's very true.
Yes.
Very true.
And one of the two questions a realtor gets is, tell me about the school system and tell me about the hospitals. If you're older and you're retiring, you want to be able to get near a hospital, because old people fall and old people need doctors. If you're young and you're raising a family, you need to know where the first ER is, because your kids are going to do something that you're going to need an ER. So hospitals are so important.
Yes.
So important. Now the population of Forsyth County has like quintupled.
Absolutely. Even Dawson County starting to see some of that expansion. You know, there's new neighborhoods, subdivisions being built. It's growing really quickly, really quickly.
Now you left McKaysville and you now live in Dawsonville.
I do.
That's a little different, isn't it?
To me, it's like living in the big city. It's not even close to the big city, but it's enough for me. It's enough for me. But yes, I like living up there, and everything's very convenient. You know, in McKaysville, to get to Blue Ridge when I was growing up, you know, we didn't even have a Walmart in Blue Ridge or Fannin County. So I can remember feeling like, oh, it takes forever
to go to Ellijay.
To get to, or Murphy, wherever we had to go to Walmart. And then like now it's like down the street. I'm like, it's great.
It is great. It is great. Now, you've been married how long? 5.5 years? 5.5 years. Okay.
6 years.
Did he take you away from McKaysville, or had you already relocated?
I had already relocated. We actually met in Dahlonega at the University of North Georgia, because I worked there for a brief time while I was getting my nursing degree, and we worked together.
There you go.
So,
There you go. Yeah. I think God usually has a perfect plan.
He sure does, because, and you know, everybody always says, when you're not looking, that's when they'll show up, or, you know, and that's the truth. We worked together for years, and then when I left, he was like, would you like to go to dinner? And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was like, oh, okay. Like, I just thought we were going to hang out.
Yeah. That is cool. That is cool.
Very sweet.
Well, we want to share some music by this beautiful young lady, and I'll tell you, she's in a place that was full of music history forever. And I remember the day I walked into Everett's Music Barn, and I'm so thankful that today it's still there and you can still go. Now, you're going to be playing there again. When did you say, in the fall?
We have another date booked there, I believe August 10th. So kind of late summer, you know, early fall, we'll be there again.
And it is in Swanee, Georgia, which is right next door to Shake Rag. Y'all will never find Shake Rag because they've hidden it. They did away with all of it. But it is the coolest place. So let's go to Raven and her group as they perform at Everett's Music Barn, A Piece of History.
Sweet, y'all just enjoy it. Listen close to the words.
Yeah, just listen to the words, not how we play. And I hope you enjoy it. But this is To Bonnie from Chris.
She's a devil in disguise. Telling dirty lies. She's a devil in disguise. In disguise. Now a woman like that, all she does is cheat. She doesn't know what makes a man a man. She'll talk about the time that she's been with you. She'll speak every word she can. She's a devil in disguise. You can see it in her eyes. Telling dirty lies. She's a devil in disguise.
keep telling y'all about it. God keeps showing up. When I walked back into Everett's Music Barn with Barry Scott for his 40th birthday, I looked around and I said, I've been here before. I was there the inaugural year that Everett's Music Barn started, which was 1964. When I think about that, it seems like yesterday. It wasn't. I wore a size 7 white tight Levi's. It was not yesterday. It was not yesterday. Now, how many years have you been performing music?
Let's see. I would say probably about 15 years or so. I started when I was 15, and I'll let them do the math.
How old were you the first time you came to ETC?
I think I was probably about 15, maybe 16. I had just started, because I remember we came here to the studio and we did a mountain music show segment, and Jamie Mason was the host back then. Yes. I remember he called me Rachel, and I was like, that is not my name.
Raven.
So, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, so it's been a while, but we've played Heart Funds here, you know, here in Ellijay, and I'm just so glad to have grown up in a community like this, you know.
Yeah.
Music everywhere.
Well, on Monday when we were featuring what you did at Kimsey Ridge, we also featured other local artists. And Barry Abernathy, Barry Scott, James Jones. There are so many people, Brett Cantrell, who came out of these mountains.
Yeah. Jeff Parton, the whole Parton family.
Parton family. They came out of these mountains, and Jeff, the Parton family, came actually from Kentucky and West Virginia. And when you think about the reason people did music, there was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So you sit on your porch after Sunday dinner that Granny prepared. Granny did all that cooking. See, she did it all. She didn't ask y'all to bring a plate.
That's right.
She did all that cooking. But the families, that was Sunday in the country.
Right.
You went to Granny's after church, you had Sunday dinner, and everybody sat around on the porch and they picked, sang, whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you said, as great as you are at many things, you can't buck dance.
I cannot do any kind of dancing. I like to say that I can do break dancing, and that means when I dance, stuff gets broke. So that should be enough for.
There you go. That is crazy.
I've always wanted to, though, but I better not.
That's funny. That's funny. Now, your dad doing banjo. To me, a banjo is one of those, you better have it together and you better know what you're doing.
I think so too.
Yeah, that looks like to me one of the hardest instruments.
I definitely think so. Having tried to learn to play, I know, and everybody's different, right? Everybody who plays a banjo would probably say, no, it's so easy, but I feel like you have to be a little bit more coordinated.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. Now, did you ever do like the old rock and roll? Did you ever do the old country, or did you go right into bluegrass?
I started out right into bluegrass because, you know, like I said, when I saw the Rhonda Vincent show she did, I was like, I dived all into her stuff and anything that sounded like her, you know. It was just, that's what I wanted to work on and sound like, but I do love some old country music.
Yeah.
You know, love Dolly Parton, Loretta, all of that. So we do try to incorporate a little bit, but we also like to add a little more banjo to it. So it's kind of that happy medium.
Yep. Now, in bluegrass, do people use steel guitars much?
Not at all.
So
much.
But see, in the country, I remember the old country music, you had to have that steel. And steel guitar players are hard to find now.
They are. I don't even think I know one.
Yeah, Tim Hamilton, who's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, he's awesome. And there were a couple, and if you watch the Davis Brothers show here on ETC, and you go through the group, this one's passed away, this one's passed away, this one's passed away. It's crazy, but we are losing that old-timey music. And I think it's important that we maintain it.
Absolutely.
You know, we maintain it. So we need to find somebody else who can come along, because Tim Hamilton's not a spring chicken. We need to find somebody who can get involved, because you can't do old country music, to me, without that steel guitar. You got to have it.
That's true.
Gotta have it.
We need the people to keep it alive and going.
Keep it going. Now let's talk a little bit about the Dawsonville event. This is the first time.
This will be the first event that I think they are doing on Main Street Park, and it's called Gospel in the Park. And so it's going to be on May 11th, the day before Mother's Day, so everybody can bring their mama. Bring a lawn chair too, so you can have a place to sit down.
Yeah.
But there's going to be 4 groups there Randy and Mary Perry are going to be there. The Raven Welch Band, Deborah Perry and Jaden's Call will be there, and Karen Peck and New River. So, you know, it's funny, all of those folks are actually local to the area because, you know, Karen Peck, she's from Lumpkin County. Yeah. And then the Perrys, the gospel group, the Perrys. That's literally them, the founding members. They've just got their own groups and stuff now. And Brother Randy does full-time evangelical work, you know, so he does a lot of revivals, traveling, singing, him and Miss Mary. And they do a great job. All of these groups are going to be fantastic.
And you know the great thing about this? It's free.
It is.
It's free.
Yes.
It's free. The city of Dawsonville is making this happen.
We have some sponsors. Lighthouse Baptist Church out of Dawsonville and Lighthouse Christian Academy are the main sponsors helping out with everything. But yeah, so we couldn't do it without the sponsors, and of course Dawsonville, the city, backing it, getting it going, getting the wheels turning. Absolutely. There'll be food trucks there, all kinds of good stuff.
30 minutes from right here.
It's not far.
30 minutes from right here.
That's
if you drive the Dale Earnhardt way like I drive, don't do it. You'll get a ticket.
Get there quicker.
But seriously, it's 30 minutes from Ellijay. It's 30 minutes from Ball Ground. It's 30 minutes from Cumming. You know, there's no excuse for the place not to be packed. Now, again, get there at 1 o'clock. It starts 1 o'clock until 6, and you'll be performing about 2 o'clock.
Probably around 2-ish, yeah. That's the
and
plan.
we want folks to come out, and we want folks to tap your foot. And if you know how to buck dance, you might get out there on the sidewalk and buck dance. You'd probably break your leg, but you know, bluegrass makes people want to move. It really does.
It does.
It does.
It does. Yeah. You know, and it's a really great opportunity to just be able to like spread the gospel through song. You know, like we talked about the population growing. There's all kinds of new people in the area, and you know, people you never may have crossed paths with, but what an opportunity to be able to share the gospel through song with all these people.
Well, we saw that Saturday night because literally, I've been to a lot of gospel singings, and I've been to a lot of groups, from the Inspirations to groups that people never even heard of that still sing every week in a church.
Right.
And you love those people that are dedicated to their churches. Like the Parton family, they show up every Sunday in a church. They're just amazing. But then that Saturday night, it was like we were at church.
Yeah.
It was like we were at church. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, I love it.
It was
only
awesome.
takes a couple people and the Spirit can just show up and, you know.
And did you know the news that Randy Hooper gave about his daughter, that she is cancer-free now?
Yes.
And expecting a baby boy. I mean, isn't that amazing?
Yes, on social media. It's
gosh.
incredible. When the Lord blesses, He knows how to do it.
Oh yeah.
He
yeah.
does.
It was like double, cancer gone, baby here.
Yep.
It's crazy, you know.
Yeah.
And everybody, last year it was very traumatic, and people were like praying for this kid, and she and her husband were staying in faith, and guess what?
Absolutely.
A miracle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Well, we're going to go to a little bit more music by this beautiful young lady and some pretty talented guys, and we got to give them a little credit. Now, tell people who these guys are.
So, we're still talking about the Everett's video, right? So, on the guitar, I have Aaron Sellers from Morganton, Georgia. On the bass, I had Robbie Mathis from Mineral Bluff, Georgia. Banjo was Chris Paget from Jasper, and our fiddle player, we borrowed him all the way from South Carolina.
There you go.
So we were glad to have them with us that day.
There you go. Let's go back to a little bit of music.
Out there. Here we go.
Don't have no one to love me anymore. Gonna pack up my
one that means the world to me.
A member of Retro 78, so we're tickled to have him with us. He is from Morganton. Is that where you're from now? You've moved so many times. Morganton, Georgia. Y'all give him a big hand. Aaron Sellers on the guitar. All right, he's going to sing another song for you, one called On and On. On and On. Has anybody ever heard that song, On and On?
He did it again. God keeps showing up. That great music that was born and bred in these mountains.
Right.
Now, again, tell the guys in your band because they all need to get some credit for something because they did a great job.
They're so talented, so talented. So yes, Aaron Sellers on the guitar, Chris Padgett on the banjo, Robbie Mathis on the bass, and then our fiddle player we borrowed, his name is Jacob Turnbill, and he's from South Carolina.
Yeah.
And he and Aaron actually play in another bluegrass band that's coming out, and it's wonderful, called Retro 78, and they've got a lot of bookings going on too this year.
And we want to invite you. This is your Mother's Day gift. You don't have to go buy a Hallmark card that costs you $8.50 for a card because I've been looking at them. You can go to Dawsonville. First of all, you come to Ball Ground and you go to the Botanical Garden. It is absolutely gorgeous, and you walk around, you look at beautiful plants, you spend time with your mom, you buy her some plants. Then you get in your car and you head to Dawsonville, and you get there about 1 o'clock. If you're smart, you'll get there about 12 and go by the Dawsonville Pool Hall and have you a bully burger and some of those home-cut French fries. And then you will go to downtown to the park, and it's called what now?
Main Street Park. It's
Main
right
Street
behind
Park.
City Hall.
Okay, and which is also near Thunder Road, and anybody like my granddaddy and everybody else's daddy who hauled moonshine, you know where Thunder Road is. Just around the corner from the Dairy Queen in Dawsonville, which happens to have really good coleslaw. So I know Dawsonville, y'all. I know Dawsonville. Come out and enjoy Ball Ground first. Come to Dawsonville. You have a whole afternoon with your mom. Bring your lounge chairs. It is free.
Yep.
It is going to be so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
And to end with Karen Peck in New River, that pretty much says it all. Because you're going to get some great gospel bluegrass music.
That's right.
It's going to be exciting. Now, I just told you about a song that I want you to learn. The Barker brothers do this song all the time, and Angela Barker does Family Chain. Actually, the Isaacs also do it. So it's one of those that when you hear it, you'll go, oh yeah, I've heard that song. It is that song that reminds us that that family chain will be broken. And there will be things happen in our life that we have to get through, but with His help, we always get through it.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it takes a little longer, sometimes it's a little harder,
Right.
but we get through it. You know, there are things that we will face every single day, and then you wake up one morning and you go, oh, I'm okay today. I'm okay. I'm okay. And I have a dear friend here in Ellijay who lost her daughter a couple of years ago, is struggling and struggling and struggling. And she said, when does it get better? And I said, mine's been gone 13 years and it didn't get better, it got doable. I guess that's, you live life every day and you just remember the good stuff.
Right.
And so when you look at your family chain, as Mother's Day approaches, many of you won't have your mother with you. If you don't have your mom with you and you want to go enjoy this concert, call a neighbor who doesn't have a way to go somewhere. Call a friend that you haven't talked to in a while.
Absolutely.
And get together and go to this concert. And again, it is the day before Mother's Day. It is free. It is in Dawsonville. And go hungry and stop at the pool hall. You'll love this. After my mama's funeral, first of all, my mama loved hats. Well, I got too much hair to wear a hat, but I bought me a black hat to wear in mama's funeral. And then after the funeral, we were in Dawson County at Mount Vernon Baptist Church, and everybody said, where do you want to go eat? And I said, well, of course, the Dawsonville Pool Hall. That's what Mama would want, because Mama loved bully burgers. So we all loaded up. We went to the Dawsonville Pool Hall. There's something about going back to that home church, going back to that family meal, going back to that family chain. And the family chain will be broken, but you can get through it. And there are a lot of families out there facing bad stuff. You know, but you're going to get through it. You're going to get through it.
Absolutely.
And you know why? See this book? God keeps showing up. And He does. I want everybody to get a copy of this. Mike Smith wrote this when his young son was diagnosed with cancer. We all know the story. The young son is now a healthy, happy, in his 30s, 40s dad. So God keeps showing up. And it's amazing how He does. And He showed up Saturday night when you did Amazing Grace. So we're going to leave y'all now with this beautiful lady doing Amazing Grace. We probably won't get the whole thing in, but I want you to just sit back and listen. Just listen.
Amazing grace,
the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've known less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. We've known less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
Such beautiful singing. Thank you, Raven. Now, before you go off, Raven, I've got to say something. I apologize. I forgot to put Harris at the end of your name.